Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by Earth Mama's Apothecary and littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. Today I'm going to talk to you about accepting the narcissistic person in your life. A lot of the pain that comes from narcissistic relationships is because people keep expecting the narcissist to change or behave differently, so I wanted to address that on the show today. Relationships with pathologically narcissistic people are usually very painful. Regardless of your relationship to the narcissist, you will likely be devalued, unappreciated, and discarded perhaps multiple times over the years. There is no magic pill to make them stop behaving this way. There's no foolproof way to stop this behavior. There's no special way to say something so that they will understand, and no way to present the information that will make them care. That's why ending the association with them and going no contact is usually what's recommended. There's no real point in anything else. You can't have a real relationship with a pathologically narcissistic person. A relationship requires two people, and there are not two people in this situation. They don't see you as one, and you realize that they have no identity. If you cannot go no contact, or you're not ready to do so yet, you can work on accepting the narcissist in your life for what they are. To be clear here, this does not mean that you're okay with their behavior or that you condone it in any way. You are not approving their behavior. You are accepting the narcissist for who they are. That means whether you approve of their behavior or not, you realize that this is how it is and that you can't do anything to change it. This is very important because so much of the pain and suffering related to narcissistic relationships comes from the victim's hope that the narcissistic person will change their behavior. Once someone really and truly accepts that this is not going to happen, that source of pain is eliminated. Sometimes people confuse this with letting the narcissist get away with things, but the truth is that it really has nothing to do with that. Accepting is not excusing. You can accept that someone is a certain way and still enforce boundaries and consequences for their actions. Just because you understand that they're that way doesn't mean it's okay. For example, you might accept that your narcissistic ex-spouse will cause issues about visitation with the children, but that doesn't mean that because you accept that, you now don't go back to court to enforce the agreement when they don't follow it. Acceptance is not saying, this is just how they are, so it's okay. Acceptance is saying, this is just how they are. It's necessary to accept the way things are to help with managing your feelings. Once you can manage your feelings, you can realistically adjust your expectations to where the narcissist behavior no longer upsets you. You have no control over the narcissistic person, so you have to exercise control over yourself. This is the only way anything is going to change. This is probably one of the hardest things for people to do. It's hard to let go of the hope or the expectation that your needs will be recognized by another person. However, it really is essential for surviving this experience. They are not going to do it, and that's just how it is. You can't make people care when they don't. This is really the crux of the issue for many people. Too much time is spent trying to make the narcissistic person care or realize where they're going wrong. The problem is, they don't think they're going wrong. Their way of operating and relating to others works for them in the immediate moment, and that's all they care about. They perceive your insistence upon recognition of your needs as selfishness and a threat. Narcissistic people perceive this as you are the one who doesn't care about the needs of other people because you're not putting their needs before your own. In their perception, you are the narcissist. There's no way to make them understand that this is not the case. All they hear you saying is that their needs don't matter and yours do. This is how they feel, and to pathologically narcissistic people, feelings are facts. This is irrational and unreasonable, but it's how it is. Any mention of your own needs is perceived as selfishness on your part. Therefore, any request to recognize your needs is received by them as being told to disregard their own. So when you catch yourself expecting the narcissistic person in your life to care about or consider your needs or being hurt because they didn't do that, remind yourself that they're not capable of doing it. When you catch yourself explaining to the narcissist that you matter too, or being hurt because they treat you as if you don't, remind yourself that they cannot understand and they don't care. In this way, you change the way you think of the relationship and your expectations of it. Many people might feel that this is unfair, and they're right, it is unfair. However, it's not really about what's fair, only what's true. It's about accepting the reality of the situation. This is necessary because the relationship is likely not ever going to be what you want it to be, and it's doubtful that it's ever going to be fair. Once you can accept that, you can stop being emotionally affected by it. That might sound impossible to you now, but it's really not. It's absolutely achievable. It takes practice and repetition, but eventually you will be able to accept things as they are. Your emotional reactions will change as the information sinks in. And remember, This does not mean that the pathologically narcissistic person's behavior is okay. It's not at all. And it really is best to end your association with this person or limit contact with them as much as possible, because there's no reason to allow that much toxicity in your life. For times when you can't avoid the narcissist or any toxic type of person, accepting them as they truly are and adjusting your expectations accordingly goes a long way towards stopping their behavior from hurting you, and that's what you have control over. We have no control over other people, but we do have control over whether their behavior affects us emotionally or not. This is all the power you really need. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. I take appointments online and over the phone, so if you're interested in speaking with me one-on-one, you can visit littleshaman.org and click the Bookings tab to go ahead and schedule an appointment. Or you can follow the link down there in the information section for this video. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.